So let me ask you this. What's the most creative thing you've done today? Now, if your first thought is nothing, well, you're definitely not alone there. For so many of us, creativity brings up these images, right? Tortured artists, maybe eccentric inventors.
Or musical prodigies.
Exactly, like some kind of special club that, well, most of us feel we're not in. We make our coffee the same way, drive the same route, the drill. Creativity feels like it's for other people.
And that's precisely the idea we want to tackle today.
Yeah.
Because what if your brain, right now, is actually, well, a creativity machine, just humming along with innovative potential?
Okay.
What if making new ideas isn't some rare gift like a lightning strike, but something really fundamental, as natural as, say, breathing?
That's a really powerful thought, liberating even, especially if you've ever told yourself, oh, I'm just not the creative type. Today, we're going to dive deep, drawing insights from Unlocking Everyday Creativity, the Mind Manual. It's part of the series, The Mind Manual, Understanding Our Thoughts. And our mission here is pretty clear. We want to bust that big myth, you know the one. The idea that you're either creative or you're not.
Absolutely. We'll unpack some of the neuroscience behind that aha moment. We'll look at some simple habits, things you can actually do to kind of supercharge your innovative thinking, and hopefully show you how to find creativity in some really unexpected places. Get ready to unlock that innovator inside you.
Okay, let's get into it. To really embrace this idea, maybe it helps to understand where this whole creativity is for the chosen few thing even came from. I mean, our sources point out that for centuries, it was seen almost as like divine inspiration, right?
Yeah, like a muse whispering ideas. It felt very mysterious, magical,
Yeah.
totally out of our control.
But then things started to shift a bit.
They did. And what's really fascinating is how that started changing, around the early 20th century. Psychologists got curious. They wanted to peek behind that curtain of supposed magic. And one of the early pioneers trying to map this out was Graham Wallace. In 1926, his book, The Art of Thought, he proposed something pretty revolutionary for the time. Creativity wasn't just one flash of brilliance. He saw it as a journey, a four-stage journey.
A journey, I like that. It immediately sounds more, well, doable, less like a miracle. So can you walk us through those stages? How do they kind of lay the groundwork for an idea?
Sure. First up is preparation. This is the deep dive phase. You immerse yourself in a problem, gather information, research. You're consciously wrestling with it.
All right, like hitting the books or really digging into data, the input stage.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Intense input. Then, after all that focus, comes the stage that, can feel a bit mysterious. Incubation. This is where you step away. Go for a walk, take a shower, maybe work on something totally different.
Ah, so your conscious mind is off duty, but the unconscious is still simmering.
Precisely. It's making connections back there, kind of like your brain doing the laundry in the background, sorting through everything you fed it.
Okay, that makes sense. And after all that simmering, what happens?
Well, that's when you might get that sudden flash, illumination, the classic aha moment. An idea or a solution just pops into your head, seemingly out of nowhere.
Seems effortless.
It seems that way, but as the sources highlight, it really depends on all that work done in the earlier stages, preparation and incubation.
So it's not really out of nowhere. It's built on effort and then letting go. Okay, so the idea arrives. How do you know if it's any good?
Good question. That brings us to the final stage, verification. The idea is here, but is it viable? Does it actually work?
Yeah.
The stage is about consciously testing it, refining it, executing it, seeing if it holds up in the real world. It's the reality check.
Got it. Preparation, incubation, illumination, verification. Okay. So around the same time as Wallace, you mentioned another psychologist, J.P. Guilford. He gave us two other key terms, divergent and convergent thinking. How do these fit into the creative process?
Right, Guilford. Well, divergent thinking is essentially brainstorming turned up to 11. It's about generating lots of different ideas, exploring many paths without judging them right away.
Like the paperclip example.
Exactly. How many uses for a paperclip? Your divergent mind goes wild. SIM card tool, antenna, jewelry, lockpick. It's that free associating idea machine.
Okay, the idea generator. And convergent thinking is the opposite, bringing it all back together.
Precisely. Convergent thinking takes all those possibilities and starts evaluating, zeroing in on the single best or most practical solution. It's logical, analytical, focused on finding the right answer.
So these early models, Wallace and Guilford, they really started to demystify creativity, didn't they?
They really did. They turned it from this magical act into a psychological process, something you could actually understand and, crucially, practice.
That is a huge shift. Okay, so if it's a process, what's happening in our heads? Neuroscience must give us some clues now.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Modern neuroscience gives us an incredible window. And it turns out creativity isn't just in one spot in the brain. It's more like a collaboration, a really intricate uh, dance between two major brain networks.
A dance. Okay, let's meet the dancers. First, there's the default mode network, the DMN. Our source calls it the dreamer.
Mm. Is this the network active when your mind wanders? Like you're driving and suddenly realize you missed the last few minutes?
That's exactly it. Or when you get a great idea in the shower. The DMN kicks in when you're not focusing on the outside world. It handles
Got it.
mind wandering, daydreaming, remembering things, imagining the future.
Okay, so my lost 5 minutes driving wasn't me losing it, just my DMN doing its thing. That's good to know.
Totally normal. Think of the DMN as your brain's internal idea generator. It's messy, associative. It's brilliant at connecting things that seem totally unrelated. It might link, say, a childhood memory of honeycomb to a materials science problem, sparking a new design idea.
Wow.
Neurologically speaking, this is home base for Wallace's incubation and Guilford's divergent thinking. Okay, the dreamer. Got it. Then there's the other network.
Right, the Executive Control Network, or ECN, the director.
Dreamer and director. Nice.
If the DMN dreams, the ECN directs. This network lights up when you need to focus, plan, make decisions, pay attention externally. It's what you use for solving a math problem or following complex instructions.
Or figuring out if that wild idea from the DMN is actually workable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The ECN is logical, organized, goal-oriented. It takes the raw material from the DMN and puts it through a filter. It asks the tough questions. Will this work? Is it practical? What are the steps?
So this is where Wallace's preparation and verification live, and Guilford's convergent thinking.
You got it. That's the home base for those.
So we have the dreamer and the director. How do they actually work together? What does that interplay look like? Because I can imagine getting stuck, right? Maybe the director's too critical, or the dreamer just spins off into la la land.
That's the absolute key insight. Real creativity happens when these two networks work together dynamically, in synergy. The DMN throws out the novel ideas, the ECN refines them, tests them, implements them.
Ah, okay.
If you have too much DMN activity without the ECN stepping in, you just get, well, a fog of daydreams, unfinished thoughts.
Been there.
And if the ECN is too dominant, you get stuck in rigid thinking. Can't see new possibilities, can't break old patterns.
So that aha moment, is that when they connect properly?
Often, yes. It's precisely that moment when the ECN kind of latches onto a promising idea bubbling up from the DMN.
Yeah.
It's that perfect handoff, that click.
Okay, this is fascinating. So what does all this mean for you listening right now? Cultivating creativity isn't just about, I don't know, painting something amazing or writing a hit song, is it?
Not at all.
Our source really emphasizes it's about building a mind that's more flexible, more resilient, more resourceful in everyday life.
Absolutely. Take problem solving. When you face a challenge, work or personal, a creative mind doesn't just see the wall. It sees potential paths around it, maybe even through it. It helps you reframe the problem itself, find solutions others might miss entirely.
And what about adaptability? The world changes so fast.
A creative mindset is an adaptable mindset, almost by definition. It helps you embrace what's new, learn quickly, pivot when things aren't working. You thrive, or at least cope better, with uncertainty.
That feels really relevant right now.
It even links to well-being. Engaging in creative activities, and this can be simple things like doodling, cooking without a recipe, just rearranging furniture. It's a great way to activate your DMN positively. It can lead to that feeling of flow, right?
Yeah, where you lose track of time.
Exactly. That satisfying state that it reduces anxiety, gives you a sense of accomplishment, control. It's genuinely good for you.
And of course, productivity and innovation at work. This isn't just for creative jobs.
Definitely not. In any role, accounting, software, teaching, anything, thinking differently is what boosts you from competent to excellent. It's how you find a better process, design a smarter spreadsheet, connect with a client in a new way.
So the real genius isn't just the wild ideas, the dreamer part.
No, it's that dynamic friction, maybe. That interplay between the dreamer and the director that actually forges something new and useful.
Okay, so once you start looking, everyday creativity is kind of everywhere.
It really is. It's not always about grand inventions. It's often small acts of ingenuity. Think about the Post-it note, classic story. A 3M scientist accidentally made a weak glue, a failure, basically,
Nobody knew what to do with it.
for years.
Yeah.
Then a colleague, frustrated because his bookmarks kept falling out of his hymn book.
Yeah.
You have that aha moment. He puts the field glue on paper. Boom. Post-it note. It's a great example of how incubation and being open to weird connections turns a failure into a massive success.
That's brilliant. Or think about cooking. The everyday chef. You open the fridge, you're out of onions, but hey, there are leeks. No oregano, but you've got time.
Hmm.
You don't just give up. You improvise. Substitute, experiment. You make a new version of the dish. That's creativity right there. Real-time problem solving and idea generation.
Or parenting hacks, any
Mhm.
parent listening knows this one. Toddler refuses shoes.
Oh, yeah.
Arguing. Dead end.
Yeah.
That's pure convergent thinking. Instead, you switch gears, right? Divergent thinking kicks in. The shoes are hungry. Feed them your feet.
Hmm.
Or race the shoes to the door.
Yes.
You've just used creative problem solving for an emotional situation. It happens all the time.
These examples really drive it home. It is ingrained in daily life. But,
Okay.
okay, to really unlock more of this potential, we need to tackle those mental barriers, right? Our source goes right after the common myths.
Yeah, let's bust some myths. First big one. Myth, #1, the genius gene. You're either born creative or you're not.
So persistent, that one.
Totally. But the reality, creativity is a skill, not some fixed trait you either have or don't. It's like a muscle. Practice makes it stronger. Your brain's ability to change and form new connections. Neuroplasticity means you can train your DMN and ECN to dance better together.
Okay, so you can get better at it. That challenges myth, #2, the artist's monopoly. Creativity is just for art, music, writing.
Right, that narrow view. The reality is, creativity is needed everywhere. It's sector agnostic. A scientist designing an elegant experiment. Creative. An engineer solving a tricky structural problem. Creative. A teacher finding a new way to explain something complex. Creative.
So it's the act of bringing something new and valuable into existence, no matter the field.
Exactly. It's the process, not the domain.
But what about that idea of the sudden flash? Myth, #3, the lightning bolt from nowhere, great ideas just poof, appear.
Yeah, the romantic notion. Reality check. That moment is the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
We talked about Wallace's stages. It's almost always preceded by hours of preparation-focused work and incubation, letting the mind wander.
Ah, like Louis Pasteur said, chance favors the prepared mind.
Precisely. It's the result of effort, not just random magic.
Okay, and one more big one. Myth, #4, the right brain myth. Creative people are right brain, logical people are left brained. Still hear that one a lot.
Oh, constantly. But the reality, massive oversimplification. Neuroscience shows us that while some functions might lean towards one hemisphere, creativity is a whole brain activity. It needs that dynamic interplay between networks like the DMN and ECN, which span both hemispheres.
It's a symphony, not a solo.
Exactly. Well put.
So looking forward, what about AI? Artificial intelligence is booming. Does that threaten human creativity?
That's the big question, isn't it? Some people do fear that AI will just make us obsolete creatively. But I tend to agree with the more optimistic view presented in our source. AI could be an incredibly powerful creative partner.
How so?
Well, think about it. AI can be amazing for preparation, sifting through massive amounts of data, and for divergent thinking, generating thousands of options, visual mock-ups, variations in seconds.
Okay, taking on some of the grunt work, maybe?
Exactly. Which frees up us, our human minds, to do what we do best. Provide the intent, ask the insightful questions, use our intuition, our life experience to guide the convergent thinking and the verification to make the judgment calls.
So a duet, human consciousness and artificial intelligence.
It could be a really powerful future for creativity, yeah.
We started this deep dive asking, what's the most creative thing you've done today? And maybe, just maybe, you're reconsidering your initial answer now. I really hope you are. Perhaps it was that slightly clever way you rephrased an email to get your point across better. Or maybe finding that new shortcut on your walk, saving a few minutes.
No, things count.
Or maybe it was just letting your mind wander for a bit, connecting two different thoughts, sparking just a tiny little new idea.
We've seen today that creativity isn't some rare talent for a chosen few. It's a fundamental human process. It's that beautiful, intricate dance between your brain's dreamer, the DMN, and its director, the ECN.
And it's a skill, something you can understand, something you can practice, something you can definitely strengthen.
That idea of the uncreative person, it's just a myth. Honestly, it's a self-limiting story we tell ourselves, and it holds us back.
The truth is, your mind is actually hardwired for innovation.
It is. The key is to consciously create the right conditions for it. Feed your mind new things. Give it time to incubate those ideas. Learn to listen for that aha moment when it shows up.
So as you go about your day, maybe look at your own thoughts a little differently, not as a fixed script, but more like a dynamic story you're writing.
Yeah, notice those little sparks of ingenuity. Give yourself permission to be bored sometimes. Let yourself daydream. play a little.
Because your mind isn't just a vault for storing old ideas, it's a workshop. A workshop for building new ones. Go build something amazing.